We're here to celebrate this beautiful book. And if you don't already have a copy, we happen to have some for sale over there on the table. So we're here to celebrate Harpo Before the Opus by Logan Fry. And he's accompanied by his beautiful wife tonight. So we're going to get a sort of a power couple of poetry tonight, and it's a real treat. I'm going to go ahead and read their bios, and Caroline will read for us first. So Caroline Gormley is an editor of Flag and Void. She attended Pratt Institute and Brooklyn College and currently works for an in-house creative agency. She has come out of poetry retirement for this very special reading with her husband, Logan. And Logan Fry is the author of Harpo Before the Opus, which won Omnidon's 2018 first and second book prize. He is a founding editor of Flag and Void, and his poetry has appeared in venues including Fence, New American Writing, Denver Quarterly, and the Best American Experimental Writing Anthology. He lives in Austin and teaches at Texas State University. Welcome, Caroline.
Thank you so much for hosting us, and thank you so much for coming out tonight. It really means a lot to look out and see so many friendly faces. So I'm going to start my reading with a poem that when Logan and I first started dating, he read and was like, I think it made him fall in love with me. And this is from a longer serial poem called A Darkness So Large. The train tracks near enough so that horns on the half hour every night deliver me from fear deformed. Half the day and half the room when I drew the line in marker down the center of our shared room. Only after did I realize how bad it was. Ants, I said, and the ants were red, pink, purple, green, as if the power of suggestion could right this wrong. In this way, I was sorry to spend my days being so bad. I just had this streak of thinking the unreal to be real. Ask my parents, that's based on a true story. Unlike a lot of these. That one is though. And the next 3 poems I'm going to read are from a collaboration I just did with a dear friend, Jenny, who's in the crowd. She gave me some objects to write poems about. I wrote the poems and then I gave them to her and some of her collaborators, and they made a short film about it. And it was really fun, and it was just a cool way to like get creative together. So, left hand. This is like placing yourself out of body when you have 2 of the same, but they do not serve the same utility. This is a lighter sense of doom, the way that inconvenience can feel almost sinister. It is a choice being made for you. If you don't know what to do with it, then the weapon cannot be forgiven. This is how trying so hard is like a self-inflicted wound. What are you getting out of the struggle? When it is put on a pedestal, then I cannot help but resist my urges. Rose. If you are into absolutes, you prefer an unquestioning existence. This is a way to think of love. It's a bouquet bequeathed with no sense of curation, which you must use. To keep love fresh, mask decay. There's always a set of circumstances to which I respond. That's how they get you. But you will mistake this as another learning moment. It is an embarrassing spectacle, like eating shit on loose gravel in the rain, and it needs to be tended to daily. My dog lifts his leg to the rosebush, but nothing comes out. In this way, he subverts what is begging to be subverted. Beneath all the protection and fear of vulnerability, it is really boring. Water. At first, there is a stillness. People like themselves so much, they sit and stare at reflective surfaces. But then I must learn to trouble things. Sorry. It's not my instinct to make waves, but I want to express myself freely. If you seek serenity in this life, I find it funny in a despairing way. Do not think I mistake this as a kind of superiority. It is what it is. Now nobody gets thrown into pools. This is a move from shimmering to shimmering, like thinking there is a self within yourself, pulling levers, minding dials. To feel the terror of your body, submerge your ears underwater. The machine then works. The technology of the eye, a wavy distortion. You get it, right? Or am I wrong? To think that falling asleep on a long flight over an ocean is traveling through time. So now I'm going to read from a series of poems I'm kind of working on right now called Pink Lake. And these are poems that come from a variety of very generative prompts to make me write. Yeah. Lean, hem, sky, land. Account for what when dog as footrest, every dog a job. Around here we keep things, civility, a bastion for everyone of those. I'm sorry, this happens every time. Are we ever going back to the moon, or? Because I think, even as a thought experiment, the urge to go is real. Ammo stockpile as civic duty. It's all ending now, babyblue86@AOL.com. Victor usurps ardor. Events have unfolded that triggered certain protocols in which the body convenes in order to meet, let's call them requirements, yes. It's always the same. Given, sob, tisk. These circumstances are never easy. Ask, is it hurt or? Carving sound. Quiet morning spent with hurt people compliment the pictures I post of my tomb. This year I got real into collecting hand-drawn maps. They don't lead to places, at least not in that sense. When light filled the corner of his room, from the door to the sound of the hive, hearing movement of little legs In the afternoons and in the early mornings, he'd miss their fuzzy legs rubbing against themselves. Or were these mornings spent just so, not as rare as he once felt, her face with his whole hand? The jarring yaw of time, misplaced, of whatever elapses. We no longer live here. Starting senior. Losing has a shade. It is a red feeling. Or maybe I am an idiot for feeling colors so hard. Seeing loss in the morning bright. I told you so. Go away, God. I strongly believe everybody deserves to hurt, built what you see. This Riviera of pain, of really poor life choices, or one's way back to a time when hurt evokes something of value. Is the atmosphere just right for you, baby? It built itself and continues to do so as long as this kiln stays lit. Lurker Purge. I really like that title. Haze emits a sound like the I swear to God brick red light you emit. Babe, I will hold you down. I will ruin whatever the light touches, can't shake the bovine eyes staring back from the fields in, what was it, Iowa? Make din kissing. Evoke from static, slurry, and finding. If the witness testifies, fair weathered, the flag's no failure. Things be like that sometimes. Lured into abyss, some spilled cup rolls underneath the bed where it remains, undisturbed, entombed. Beyond what one could expect, a wretch like me ekes out a path back to that den, the surface all condensation and the feel. I try, I omit that which tints. Molasses. Low in us, effort rills until ardor's tinge is all that remains. Does that flag bulge then lack? Didn't we build this to be so? Yes, all beings to err, sure. And yet, the design provides. Lent to shrink, back to that then, running against the wind. To err is Caroline. When the sleep comes easy for those who dwell in the valley below, eventually this too becomes what we envied, and so I tend to it. My skills for curation go unmatched. And this is my last one. It's called salt rubbing. Here, on thin snow, I pine. Describe to me your favorite memory of horses. Everyone has one. Damned if you do, bored if you don't. Tell me to calm down, and I won't drop a pen where I am. Going, I have no plans to spare the rod. Where I am going will suffer greatly from what I carry. Thou suitors a hoot. Give it up for him, really. Applause. Did this not bloom overnight? Everywhere I go, true story, everyone always asks about dying. And I hope nobody I know ever dies. And when they do, I want them back as horses in a circle all around me.